The goddess Lilith. She is so close to me and I love her very much. And she has a reputation, good and bad. She is a complex being and one that fits many different roles, you could say. But one such role is being a goddess, and she is such a thing to a lot of people. And yet there is a lot of discourse in her name, and she has asked me, to be quite frank, to speak on this. She sees the discourse all the time. For the most part, she doesn't give a shit, to put it bluntly. She is used to being demonized. She fully embraces that. However, she doesn't like it when other so-called followers of hers bring down other followers of hers. Because with any divinity, and Lilith is no different, we can find them in whatever way that we need to, whatever way that resonates. And for some people, Lilith is very much a feminist icon, very much a liberator, and very much a goddess in that regard. And for others, she is not. She is a demoness. She can be liberating, but they very much embrace her dark side, her darker elements and aspects. And then there are the others that just dislike her because obviously she is an adversary at the end of the day. But when somebody is a follower of hers, she doesn't like that attitude, is what I would say. Because whatever guise you want to say Lilith is or isn't, ultimately she is rebellion, and her main mythology is that she didn't follow the rules. She didn't just submit. She paved her own way, very much an individualist, and therefore her followers are individualists and her children are, you know. So let's talk about this, because there was a well-known creator who I'm not going to name and I'm not going to show. I have showed this person before, but came up with a very arbitrary, I should say, argument. Lilith is not a pagan goddess. Okay, let's dissect this. Let's get into it. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. This channel is a witchy community and safe space. We can all agree to disagree and things like this. Nothing silly. We don't judge here. If you want to join, hit subscribe. Even though I'm saying this, there will be some things I do disagree with, but I always say to each their own. Okay, so I'm not going to jump down somebody's throat over this video topic, hence me not even showing the person that Lilith wanted me to react to. And if you want to support me or the channel, all of my links are below. I offer readings, I've got Patreon, I've got all sorts going on. I just want to keep that brief. I'm so grateful if you could check it out though, thank you. First and foremost, this is a big kettle of fish. And I've already explained at the beginning, Lilith will come to who she wants to come to. You don't get to tell her, all right? Because there's been discourse in the past as well about her being a closed practice and all of this crap. No, you don't tell her what to do, okay? First and foremost. So let's establish that, okay? Now, it depends upon the story you're going to go by, right? Who is Lilith? So Lilith as Lilith, not as Lilith 2 or anything else, is from Jewish mythology. The alphabet of Ben I can't remember the pronunciation of that, but that book, she's in the Babylonian Talmud, and essentially in Judaism, she is an adversarial spirit. She is said to be a demon. She was said to be the first wife of Adam, who famously would not lie beneath him, that she left the Garden of Eden and became a demon. became mother of demons, corrupt, evil, essentially. And Eve replaced her, you could say. But the main theme is her and Adam were created equal. And that is, in a nutshell, her Jewish myth and what a lot of people know her by. Perception is a great thing with this because, you know, she's painted as evil, yes. But some people see that as, well, actually read between the lines. She is standing up for herself. She's a feminist. She is independent, you know. So that is where she gets that sort of feminist side from. But her origins are in Judaism, okay? We can't deny that. Now, there are beings that predate Judaism that are similar to her. And in my UPG, which is Unverified Personal Gnosis, what Lilith has told me is she may be linked with them, but she is not them. Lilith herself is Lilith, first woman, that myth, warts and all, demon, woman, that's her, right? But yes, there are beings that predate Judaism. So the Lilith is a famous one. In Babylonian mythology, there were lesser spirits of the underworld, you could say, demons, more than one, several, the Lilith and the Lilin, I believe, the male and the female ones. And they were basically demons. They were known as night demons, and they looked a bit like harpies, had wings and claws and things like this, and they were said to prey upon the innocent, let's put it like that, okay? But there were many of them. There were lesser spirits. You could say that if you compared it with another mythology, ancient Greek, because I know that the most, you could say they're like nymphs. You know, nymphs in the ancient Greek are like the fae, I suppose. Depends on the type of nymph. They could be also underworld nymphs, like the lampards. So you could say it's like that, okay? But yes, they were classed as demons, and Lilith is adamant that she is not them because they are different, and there are many of them, male and female. Now, also in Babylonian myth, there was a goddess / demoness called Lamashtu. And Lamashtu was said to be the daughter of the primal water god, I believe. I think it's Anu or Anpu. I'm so sorry if I've forgotten how to say that name. But she's a very primal goddess. Normally, she is depicted with lionesses or as a lioness as well. And again, she's said to prey on the innocent, let's put it like that. Pure demoness. Doesn't seem to have redeeming qualities in that regard, okay? So it's just said she's just pure nasty, I suppose. And famously, her adversary is Pazuzu, who you may know from the Goetia, the Ars Goetia, and the movie The Exorcist. He is a storm demon, and he was also pretty intense, let's say, and he stood up for the innocent just to get back at her. That's just a side note. Now, recently, I was at the British Museum, and I discovered another goddess called Lama. And Lama is an ancient Mesopotamian goddess, that area of the world, Babylonian, Assyrian, Akkadian, they're all mixed up sort of thing. She was a go-between between humanity and the gods, and she looked very much like Ishtar, very much like Inanna, the Burnie Relief, if you know what that is. The Burnie Relief is said to be the queen of night. It is said to either be Ishtar, Inanna, or Lilith. Lilith is very much linked with that energy too, that fertility, passionate, dark, feminine energy. But all of these things, if she is said to be linked to Lamashtu, Lilith, Lama, Inanna, Ishtar, whoever, she is still Lilith, okay? These are all theories, these are all commonalities, and they are their own women and beings separate from the story of Lilith. The story of Lilith is still from Judaism, okay? Now, with that being the case, the story of Lilith, despite all these links with gods and demons, she is not named as a goddess, no. So labels wise, no, she wasn't a goddess. She was a human woman, the first one, that was then demonized. And then she was called a demon throughout. But we are arguing human labels here. Because what is a demon? First, demon, the word, comes from Greek. It comes from daimon or daemon. And it meant spirit. It meant helpful spirit, God, essentially. It was used interchangeably with terminology for a deity. Now, what do we even class as a deity? Depending upon the culture, your answer will vary. Deities can be gods and goddesses, archetypal energies. They can also be ancestors that have ascended. Some people will call that an ascended master. A very famous one is Jesus or Yeshua. And he was a mortal man that was said to be the son of God, a demigod in other cultures, you could say. But he is classed as God to some people. He is classed as a deity. In a lot of ancient cultures linked with the Far East, your family could become a deity. Your family could transcend, you know. Rulers on earth, kings and queens, were said to be deities as well. So what are we arguing is a deity here? We are in the modern times. A deity could be many things to many different people. It's a label at the end of it all. Now, in addition to that, this creator said she's not a pagan deity specifically. Well, what does that even mean? So the word pagan is a Latin word. It was once a derogatory word. It came from the Latin for basically villagers, peasants, ordinary plebeian people, essentially. And when Christianity was on the rise, pagan was used as a term the same as heathen, an insult, that you were lesser, that you weren't classy, you were, you know, you and your beliefs were, basically. Heathen used to be a word like that, which has been reclaimed, especially in Norse and Germanic beliefs. So we're arguing a label, and it's bullshit, to be quite frank. A pagan is somebody who is other. And it still is, really. We are reclaiming that word, just like we reclaim the word witch. Witch was always used, well, mostly always, used as a derogatory term and an insult to many. I wear that as a badge of honour. I do. And I wear pagan as a badge of honour because, no, I don't fit in with the masses, you know. So to say Lilith isn't a pagan goddess is a bit silly. All right, yeah, her origin, she wasn't a goddess in Judaism. No, she wasn't. And yes, she is known as a demoness as well, and I fully accept that. I'm in the cliff oath right now. I am on the left-hand path. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But what is divinity? What is a god, a goddess? What is paganism? Ultimately, we're in the modern age where we are different from the norm, the mainstream Abrahamic monotheist religions. So what is wrong with calling her that? And why do you have to be so uppity and gatekeepery about it, let's say? Because frankly, Lilith is not about gatekeeping. Lilith is the opposite. And you should know better. That's all I'll say. She wanted me to address this. You can believe that or not. But she sees all this stuff going down all the time. She's actually quite a fan of social media. She always has been. I started my journey on bloody TikTok. I no longer have that because of how problematic and dramatic it is. But she was all for that. She likes a good argument sometimes. She does. She doesn't shy away from being the adversary. That's why. And she gets her people. She gets her people to do the same, essentially. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for her. Stand up for what you believe in. Have a debate, you know. We don't have to get nasty sort of thing. But when you've got her name in your mouth and you're saying some crap, she'll correct you. And same goes for me. All right, I'm not immune to that. If I ever did that, she'd correct me too. I hope this helped. Don't bloody worry about a label. If you're interested in Lilith, I've got a whole playlist on her. Go check it out. You can see her out however you want, okay? You don't have to work with her more darker sides, you could say. It's up to you. Each their own. At the end of the day, if she's interested in you, if she wants to help you, she'll help you. No one tells her what to do, right? So, until next time, stay safe, stay witchy, and you may as well hit subscribe. All right? Bye-bye now.